Alright, welcome back for our part 2 of our interview here with Steve Perry, the local British Columbian hip-hop artist. We're just going to finish up here talking a bit about his most recent live... oh my god, I'm going to have to redo that here. Thank god there's cutting capabilities. Alright, welcome back to part 2 of our Infidel Network interview here with Steve Perry, the local MC and hip-hop artist, goes by the name Abyss. We're just going to finish up by talking off about your most recent album, and what was it called again?
Most recent album is called Family.
Family?
Yeah.
And what went into the production of this album? What were some of your favorite producers, and what was, I guess, your family's #1 inspiration for this album? How did you go about discussing the lyrics, and what sort of angles did you go from?
I was given beats by a producer named Lex Beats, and I just started writing, and it was around the time my first son was born, so it's about 5.5 years ago now, and he just started giving me beats, and I just kind of started writing, and it was all, you know, like I was saying before, like expressing myself, speaking from the heart. So a lot of the stuff that was on my mind was, you know, being a dad, a new chapter in life, and yeah, so it just kind of went from there, and then I recorded it with my man DJ CeeLo, and he also produced a track on there as well. And it was kind of I started it like I said over 5 years ago, and it was released I think it was 2.5, 3 years later. So I did put a lot into it. Definitely the longest period of time I've worked on a project. Usually it would be like you know, get the beats, write the songs, record, move on to the next thing. And this was something that I did take a lot of time doing, putting work into it. And I also, with that being said, I wanted to kind of get it out there a little bit more before rushing into recording something new, which I'm doing now. So, you know, take a few years to get all that stuff out there, do the shows and all those things, get the album out, and then move on to what's next.
So, while we're talking about what's next, what is next for Abyss?
One of my good friends, member of the Influence crew, Yumi Him, he has been producing beats on an MPC, so they're real raw, real good classic sounding beats. So he's given me the honor and pleasure to use these beats for what I'm working on now. So, and it's the first time I've recorded myself, and I'm just using a little digital 8-track, so it kind of
It'll be a little bit more raw.
Yeah, give it a raw feel. It'll definitely set the mood, and it is a little bit more. Obviously, I still speak from the heart and all that, but there are some just straight up rapping songs where I'm just rapping
on the tack,
you know, having fun and that kind of stuff, and laughing a bit.
That's awesome to be able to just like step back and just like enjoy the music and not have to necessarily associate too much of a message.
Yeah, well, there is still a message in there. There's a few songs where I touch on, and I don't want to dive too far into it because I don't know what songs I will stick to using, but there are songs on there that touch on things like police brutality, and there are things where I'm just talking about rapping, and then heartfelt messages as well. So it is kind of a mix of everything, but there's definitely not as tight as a concept as there was for Family. Family, I knew that
there's so much going on that was directly related to it at the time, and now you can kind of like step back and just
stepping back. And my kids are at the age where I can bring them to shows and they can enjoy the music and stuff like that. So, you know, you kind of think, well, let's make something that's a little more danceable and stuff like that, you know. So
not so family oriented now that they're growing up.
Well, yeah, always keep it family.
So regarding live shows, what would you say is your next step for live shows? You see that being a big part of your upcoming little career?
I love performing, man. Like I'll perform anywhere, anytime, as little notice as possible. That's kind of, I mean, that's the fun part of it to me, is getting out there and doing it and watching the people's response to what you do. Some nights you may strike out, and other nights it may be great. It just depends on the people, the atmosphere, the environment, what you're dealing with, all that kind of stuff. So I just love performing, so next step is just to keep doing shows, as many that come my way. So.
Well, I remember seeing your most recent show, and it was an epic one. I would pay to see another one.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you
man.
so much for coming out
Thanks
here
for
for the
having me,
interview,
man.
and hopefully I'll see you again before when your next album comes
Yeah,
out.
man, for sure.
All right. Have a good one all, and tune in again.